We were not on. Okay, so we shall bring them in. We were
okay. That's what we're gonna do, right?
Yes,
Love and Business on Lock podcast. Jay Claxton and Dr. Cass Vaughn. We're gonna Love and Business on Lock podcast. Real quick, I need you to that intro music that you just gave our guests. I need you to give them that intro music.
Oh, so what I was saying is that basically, you know, why they are a couple like no other. They, you know, actually tell us how to be a woman or how to be a man, because if you can't be a woman or a man first, then how can you be with someone? Right. So let's bring them in. Okay. No. Yeah.
All right. How y'all feeling?
We
absolutely wonderful. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being here. We enjoyed that. I love that intro music during the wait. I like that part.
Right, you know, I usually dance to it. I mean, I'm to it now, so I haven't been dancing to it. I might need her to change the intro music.
It almost reminded me of the house music back in Detroit. That's what it reminded me.
Listen, you're talking to a DJ.
See, you say house music.
Baltimore is a big house town too. You know what I mean? As well. I love your background.
Oh, thank you.
Right. I love the background. How y'all feeling today, though? Everything is well, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They're such a beautiful couple. I'm telling you, I had time to spend with them before we went on. Such a beautiful couple.
So
beautiful
are you too?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful couple.
Yeah, beautiful couple, beautiful spirit. And, you know, I was saying, you know, in the intro that the thing that I love the most is that when I went through your social media, the first thing says love Jesus. Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Well,
that's a powerful statement.
Yes.
And 13 years of marriage.
You know, that's the thing, you know, because we don't necessarily see that anymore, you know, which is crazy. But I just think that we, you know, folks bail so early now, you know, they bail so early. It's so much access, you know, it's really a lot of access, dating sites, social media. So a lot of times I guess people think that the grass is green on the other side. And
you better water your
you know,
own
they like, you know, okay, you don't want to do it right, I can leave. And I think that plays a part in relationships not lasting the way they used to last.
Right. It's funny. We said, I think we were talking to Dr. Cass before we started and telling her a little bit about how we got involved with this. And it was, to me, it's real simple. If the God of the universe who created marriage, if you're not following his design and his guide, you're kind of doing it on your own. It's kind of destined to fail if you kind of filling in the gaps with what you think is how it's supposed to work. Like you said, and then next thing you know, people bail because it don't work when you don't consult the very beginning or the essence of how it was actually created.
Right.
And you know, and I always say the absence only gives the heart an opportunity to do what it was going to do anyway.
Okay.
So the access has nothing to do with what people do with the access. It all goes back to like what Dr. Shea said earlier. When you know who you are, you're not looking for the other person to complete you. So I think the reason why people are so quick to bail and to take advantage of access is because they feel empty inside, and they think that they need to have more people versus really getting to know themselves so that they can give themselves away instead of trying to go to a relationship to take something.
Right. And you know, real quick, because I know Cass has a lot to talk to you guys about. Like I'm looking at her notes. About my peripheral vision, and it's a lot of notes. So you know, she is definitely going to lead. But what I do want to say to what we were just talking about, and Gil, I think that you understand. I mean, just from us being men, we aren't necessarily taught what we're supposed to do, right?
Right.
And we were talking on another show, and I was telling somebody that one of the guests, what we think that we're supposed to, men originally thought that they were supposed to have a bunch of women, not that they were taught that, but they are celebrated amongst their peers. Mm-hmm. Gil, man, you the man. Gil, you got all the women. Gil, you're a ladies' man. Gil, you know what I mean? They put you up on a pedestal because you're getting attention. So you automatically, even though nobody said anything, you automatically think that's the route to go. You know what I mean? And I know it takes some time, and it takes somebody teaching, or it takes you to actually have some losses.
Yes.
In order to get it. So that I think that it has to be folks like us, you know what I mean, folks like you guys, to really teach the narrative, you know, that we have been through these things and experienced some things, and really teach the narrative, because they aren't necessarily taught the narrative amongst their peers.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, they're not necessarily taught amongst their peers. So you have the floor, beautiful lady.
So tell us about the Rich Relationship Refuge course.
It's my heart.
I love it.
You know, the podcast was birthed from Gil. That was his way of pushing me into the front with the books. And he was like, it'd be a good thing for you to do a podcast about food addiction and plant-based nutrition. And the Lord was like, that's something you're going to do together. And so that was something that, it was his idea. I never wanted to do. I didn't even know anything about podcasting. So that was something that God really used to help us really realize what we could do together. Mm-hmm. But the Refuge is something that's always been in my heart, because I always feel like people need a safe place to go. And so the Refuge is right now a course. It's an online course, but the long-term goal is for it to be a place where couples can go and get away and get unplugged and be around other healthy couples and get connected and have good food and good time and just let their hair down with like-minded people. That's the long-term goal of it. But right now it's an online course. But it's really my heart, because I love to serve. I love to feed people. I love to listen to people's problems. Gil's listening to a book, trying to pour back into us, because we love marriage and we love helping other people see that it's not easy. It's not an imaginary thing. It's work. But if you have people to work alongside you, it's a lot. The journey is a lot more enjoyable.
You know, and it's kind of what you were just saying, when you don't have those times where people have showed you a different way of doing something, then you're going to fill in those gaps with what you think is the best way to do it. And just over the times that the 17 plus years that we've been doing this, that we just decided to say, hey, we're just going to show you what we do and what we've learned and what we've learned from other couples. And if you can use something adapted to your lifestyle or in your relationship, use it, because that's where you have to get new information if you're expected to do something new in your relationships. Right.
And you know, it's funny because we talk about couples a lot, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about couples a lot. And the young lady next to me, actually, we have a retreat coming up, and actually switched it in allowing singles to come as well. Mm-hmm. And because I feel, you know, and she was saying, basically, you know, same thing. Like, we focus so much on the couples,
right?
But we got to focus on the singles so they get, like you said, be prepared to be couples. You know, you mean, to be in a relationship, because again, if you don't know and you're not ready, or you don't have some of that information, then you're going to be in a relationship and out of a relationship.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
I think that we do have to also focus sometimes on single folks as well. You know, I don't always want us to focus on the couple. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think we need to focus on the singles.
And you know, one of the things that we realize, and it says it on the back of our book, is that if you suck at being single, you're going to suck at being married.
Wow.
So God has really shifted. Like, the first 5 weeks of our course is geared towards singles.
Okay.
So we realize that the thing that singles and married people have in common is that if you don't know who you are, it doesn't matter if you're married or single. So if we don't help to get them when they're single and help them to really see what marriage looks like before they get engaged, because we said that we need to get them before they get engaged, because sometimes when people get engaged and you start talking to them about things that maybe are not the ideal idea of this person, they're less likely to walk away because they made a deposit, they done told their friends already. So we want to get them in that when you're dating stage.
Right.
So that's what we're really focused on too, because I think the married people are less likely to want help because they don't want people to know that they're struggling.
Right.
But everybody knows they're struggling when people get a divorce.
Right. Look, that's true. I mean, that's true. And I'm gonna say this last thing, and then I'm gonna shut up because I think I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I think that COVID showed a lot in relationships, and I think that if you didn't know your mate, if you didn't know your mate before COVID and the shutdown, I'm pretty sure at this point you were well aware of how your mate is. I mean, did you guys get a lot of people kind of like from the pandemic, and because they weren't used to in regular everyday life, they were used to going to work, going to take care of the business, or going to run the kids to soccer practice, football practice, whatever the case may be. So when you get to your mate, eat dinner, you're a little tired, go relax, go to bed, do it all over again. COVID, 24/7, I got to be in your face like this. And, who know, like, now you really know that mate, after spending that time. And you get to know them kids and all the stuff that the teacher said was, little Johnny was bad. Now you know little Johnny really bad because you spent time.
Go ahead. You want to answer it?
Well, and I think that I called it an adult timeout.
Okay.
It gave us time to look at the reflection in the mirror as well as the people around us. Because sometimes we're so busy looking at the outward that we don't take the time to be still. And so I think that all the, I talked about creating more and consuming less. All the consumers were struggling during COVID because all the things they consumed was turned off. But the creatives were thriving because people want to create. You just want to create. So I think it really helps you to understand what your bend is and the growth areas for yourself and the areas that you just have kind of let your relationship go.
Yeah, and what I was going to say to that is we did. We actually got busier, believe it or not, because thank God I my normal day-to-day is in IT. So I'm comfortable with all this stuff. So Zoom has been blown up, especially became a real good tool for us to use because we still can touch couples and reach out to them and help because they realize, whoa, we got some issues that we need to address, or we got some things that we have left either ignored or dormant or just haven't worked on or weren't aware of the shortcomings. We call them growth areas, those growth areas that have been neglected that now we need to actually address them. But you think about it, if you don't have the tools in your toolbox, you're kind of stuck. And now you can't go out to go get them. So we got actually busier and we were doing a lot of online conferences and stuff like that. And we actually penned a book during the time. So
with 18 other couples.
Yeah. So we did notice an increase in that. Absolutely.
Got it.
I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the pandemic. I want the pandemic to come back.
No, you don't.
Not for the bad reasons.
Not for the bad reasons, but because I feel like for me, I feel like we were closer during the pandemic. And so for me, that's the reason why I'm like, I want the pandemic to come back because now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why we started the course, because we realized that if people ignored it during the pandemic, and when things go back to what is the new normal, it's going to get worse. So when people are talking about the pandemic is going to increase the divorce rate, well, no, the pandemic is not increasing the divorce rate. The lack of the tools that we have, not changing those things, are going to increase the divorce rate. So that's why we thought it was so important to make sure we made something available to people right away that's private, so you can get help without people knowing it. But it gives you a safe place to go and really address that. Because I think sometimes we just don't realize you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you're not good at communication and conflict resolution, and you don't know that you don't really know yourself until you have something to compare it up against.
Or kind of forced to kind of confront that, because our spouses have a way of letting us know what our growth areas are real quick. You know, but we have a challenge when we don't see it ourselves. Then it becomes a tit for tat, and it becomes an exchange, and that's where the conflict builds up. And next thing you know, you have this conflict that you don't know how to resolve. So that's where the growth areas can be a real exposure of those things that the pandemic has kind of done.
Okay, right.
Let me ask you a question. How are you able to balance your relationship and your career?
You want to start?
It's prioritizing.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the word balance, because I think balance is a trap, because there's no such thing as balance. I think that whatever you make first is what is going to grow. And so we make our relationship with God, our relationship with ourselves, each other, and then everything else falls after that. Because at the end of the day, I realized when our daughter was little that the only person that could be her mom was me. So my career is going to be there. So I prioritize. I made my schedule around her schedule. I made my schedule around his schedule, and I made work. So I didn't make work my God. I didn't make it my priority. It was just a way that I expressed my creative, talents, and it generated income. But you have to understand priorities. Prioritizing is the key to making sure you keep things in perspective.
And I would say the awareness of not only that our relationship has to be a priority, but aware that we need to make it a priority to do things to kind of feed it. Because if you just kind of do the same things over and over and over again, like you just said, Jay, come home, watch TV, hang out for a few minutes, chit chat for about 5-10 minutes, really, and next thing you know, you're gone to bed and nothing has really been fed into each other. You have to be aware that I have to feed into my spouse, and my spouse should be feeding into me to make us grow together. Right. So I would say priority and awareness is those things to make it work.
Got it.
I'm sitting here like, wow, because my conversation that I had planned on having later was my cup is empty. And so that's why as I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, how do these people know what I'm thinking? But I'm really sitting here thinking my cup is empty, because that's how I have been feeling. Like, my cup is empty. My cup is empty. And I feel like something that you guys said is so true. We have the conversations and we say it, but if the other person is not hearing you, then the monotony continues, And so, as you were talking, I was sitting there thinking, my cup is empty, because it's really how I'm like, I'm pushing like, but I keep stopping on the track, and so, yeah.
And so when people say that their cup is empty, I think the thing, especially for women, that we have to understand that the person that fills our cup is our relationship with God. When we first got married, I would always go to Gil with my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup. And someone with a source can't be your source. So before I do anything, before I brush my teeth, before I spend time with the Lord, because I realize that He makes my cup run over. I read, I pray, and then I get up and I can go to give. And so I think that when we have an expectation that marriage is where our needs get met, we end up being disappointed, because marriage is not where our needs get met. Salvation is where our needs get met. We're in marriage to give, not to take. And so I think that when we change the focus of where we expect the needs to be met from, it takes some of the pressure off of our spouses, vice versa, and both ways.
Because if in the very beginning of our relationship, just for, like you said, before we got on air, was the transparency. It was exhausting, for not just for her, but for me to come to Renee or her to come to me, because I had a shortcoming in my life from my whole past and history and all the things that happened just out of living life. And I'm coming to her to fill that cup or fill me up. We have a limitation. So when our limitation runs dry, or we are not even equipped to fill that, that's when it gets very challenging and very difficult, to where you have to reprioritize again to say, you know what? One of the things that we did in our relationship was say, you know what? I got your back. We say that as a nice bumper sticker type saying, but what that means is I'm looking out for you and you look out for me. That means I don't have to look out for myself.
Right.
I'm going to be watching you and looking for you to be running on empty or drained or whatever, and saying, how can I lighten your load? You know, as a couple, God said he gave my wife to me as a helpmate, which means she's here to help me. But that's not just a one-way street. It goes both ways. And I think sometimes us as men, we only think it's about what we want to do and what we focused on towards building the family and building the business and all the things that we have to do to provide for our family. But we forget about the one real source, that the first person that should come first after God is our spouse. And if we're looking out for her, that makes me able to go out and do what I do even easier and better and faster.
Right. I think that something that I probably need to do a better job of is, like you just said, that, you know, our spouses are here to help. You know, I'm just like, yo, I got it. I'm gonna put everything on my shoulders, on my back, and I'm gone, and I'm moving, and I'm running, and I'm trying to make it work, and I'm just making it happen for all parties involved, and family members and kids and that sort of thing. And she was like, hey, I can help. You know what I'm saying? Let me help. And I'm like, I got it. And I do understand that I probably need to do a better. Well, I know that I need to do a better job of it. I would be lying to say probably.
Right.
And I don't want to lie to you guys. That's not what I'm gonna do. But she has made me aware of that, and I do need to do a better job, because I'm just used to putting it on my back. I'm going, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna ride, and that doesn't always, I guess, is not, doesn't always work. You know what I mean? Because like she just said, I mean, it's empty. You know what I'm saying? And Renee, I'm glad that you said what you said, but I do, we full transparency, I know I play a part.
Oh yeah.
And that emptiness as well. So I do know I have to do a better job,
Jay, that is so powerful that you say that, because we as men sometimes don't even want to acknowledge that we have shortcomings, or that we have so much pride built into us to take care of our families and do what's right, that we forget or neglect the one that God gave us. He gave her to us,
right.
Help us in the area that he knew we had a deficiency. He knew we needed a growth area. Whatever my strength is or my weakness is, that's where Renee balanced me out to help me get better at what I do. So if I decide I don't want to take advantage of that, I'm making it more challenging and more difficult on myself.
It has to be, right.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
And I applaud you for that, because that is so important, just to acknowledge and identify and recognize publicly. We're doing this broadcasting. Sometimes we want to keep, I'm all right, I'll do it better next time. But for you to say that outwardly, unfortunately, that's where the accountability comes in now.
Yeah, so now she'll remind you this tape. It's like, remember what you had.
Remember what you said. We got to record. Hold on, playback.
Right. You know what? But that's one thing I can say. We are pretty accountable. And we understood that accountability went a long way early on. And us trying to be transparent with each other. Yeah. And just with this platform, we feel like we have to be as transparent as we can, because that's where, again, that's where the lessons kind of come in at. You know what I mean? Us being transparent, and because somebody's probably going through something, and if I'm sitting there acting like everything is, is great all the time, then where am I helping the people that are coming to look for the help? They need to know that somebody else is kind of going through that. So, we've really done a great job, and I appreciate you guys for recognizing that. Where we try to be accountable, and I got plenty. She's here, like you said, Gil. She's here because I had shortcomings, and the things that she does well, I don't.
Yep.
I'm terrible with dates, time. I'm trying to figure out try to put everything in a 24-hour day, and it's just too much. It's not enough. I got to cut some things, say no, and I'm just trying to do it all in the 24-hour day. So that's why I came to look for this young lady, and she's better than me with time and being structured, because I'm going to figure it out, but I'm not necessarily structured. I'm cool. Everybody love me. I'm going to make it happen. And that don't necessarily work all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we love, is that it's always like that in a relationship. There's always a now and a later. There's always a saver and a spender. There's always a late person and an early person. And you just have to realize that there's certain things that I'm better at than Gil is. And it may not be a male role. It might be, there's certain things. It doesn't have to be gender. It has to be based on the person who's better at it. And I think that's what's helped us, is that we realize, you know what? And we didn't always respond that way. We have, I was just telling somebody, we're trying to make a decision about our next step. And we were like, we were both upset, but instead of reacting, I let myself come. I said, babe, you know what? This is something, whenever there's something that's new that's going on, you have to reestablish what's going to be your role and what's going to be your area. And so we are learning that. Over the years, we've just learned that, not that we don't always agree, because we don't always think the same. I'm a woman, he's a man. I'm an extrovert, he's an introvert, but we respect each other, and we realize that there's something that he brings to the table that I need.
Yeah. And after 32 years, to realize that it's constantly changing, that's something that is going to always be present.
Right. No, got it. And it's funny because we probably the opposite. She's an introvert. Just kind of, this is big for her. Like she's always been behind the camera and behind the scenes, making sure everybody else was good. So this
right here, Dr. Cass, right here. Me and you right here.
Right. Me, I perform in front of. I need the lights. Like I need the lights. I'm gonna perform in front of the lights. Give me the lights. She's just, we kind of polar opposite, which kind of what makes it work.
Yep.
Right.
And it's not that your polar opposite makes it work. It's that you respect each other. When
Okay.
people say opposites attract, I think that's a lie. I think that what makes you attract is you're compatible. And I think that being opposite is just being human. You're going to be opposite because you're marrying the opposite sex.
Right.
So to think the opposite, I think that sometimes opposites can attack as well as attract. And so you have to make it based on your values and your faith and being compatible. That's what makes your relationship work.
Right. I'm, I love the Lord. You know that. And I really want to be, I was thinking about being a preacher now. I feel like I got some food for somebody. She hates when I say it because she's a PK anyway. Her father is the guy. So she like, I don't want to hear that. But I'm telling you.
I did that already.
Right there.
It's interesting because my dad said to me a few days ago, I've had several dreams about Jay being in our pulpit. And I was like, no, you didn't.
You didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me that.
No, you didn't.
You didn't tell me that.
He was like, I think I'm gonna call his grandmother and check on her. I was like, no.
You kept that a secret.
You can't run from, baby. It's who you are.
Yeah, you kept that a secret, didn't you? And sometimes I just do it to get under her skin and mess with her. But this platform has been a blessing, and because we've had so many great guests such as yourself, we learn so much. We get so much food from being on the podcast, and it's great. It's helped us to grow. And we have gotten folks that just come up and we're talking to people we do business with, and hey, you're really keeping my marriage together. And it is. It's a
you don't realize it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing, and I feel like we are supposed to give back. We're supposed to give back.
So I have started this new thing talking about love hacks, you know. So the question that I have is in reverse, okay? So, Gil, can you give women some love hacks that they need to know about men? And Renee, can you give men some love hacks that they should know about women?
So I would say, women, don't try to change them. Don't look at them as a project. Don't look at them as something that you need to tweak or to mold into your ideal guy, or what you had this, we call it the rose-colored glasses effect, to where you seen this guy, not image, not appearance, not only those things, but the whole package. You know, accept him for who he is, listen to him, and help him to grow and help him to understand. So I would say the love hack is that Renee was tremendous in helping me, is to understand that how I am, I'm not broke. I'm not a project. I'm not deficient in certain areas that I need her to fix. If anything, pray for me, look out for me, and let God tell me what I need to do. I have a relationship with him. So you coming to him and telling him, don't say fix that dude or fix that man, or fix him, Lord. Not that. Pray about what you see. You know, if you see I'm struggling, or I'm like Jay was talking about earlier, or that I carrying too much weight, or I have pride, or those types of things, that is definitely instrumental in helping me become a better man. Because to know that I have somebody looking out, not just to tell me what my shortcomings are, but interceding for me. So that's what I would say.
Right.
What I would say that men need to know about women is that she's going to change. She's not going to stay the same. Her body, her hair, her likes, her dislikes, expect the change and be looking for the change versus expecting for things to stay the same. Because I think women want men to change and men don't want women to change. We're going to change. And I think that when you embrace that, sometimes what you think you don't want is what you need, because you need us to change. Because if I was the same person I was when I was 20, we would be in trouble.
Right.
Because my 20-year-old self was a hot mess. She was a mean girl. And so I think that men need to know and accept and look for and compliment the changes that you see in her body and in her sex drive and in her shopping and all the parts of her being her. I think it gives women the freedom to really accept themselves and be who God created us to be.
Right. What's your hack?
My love hack would be, men, you have to make sure that you feed her insecurities. And it goes back to what Renee just said. You know, tell her she's beautiful. You know, she's cooking, smack on the hind parts. You know, you have to flirt with her so that the most secure woman has insecurities when it comes to their mate. And it is the man's job, just like it's the woman's job to feed the man's insecurity, it is definitely the man's job to feed. And you can't be so cool about it. You have to feed it. Because as we say, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Stephanie said hind pots. Yes, hind pots.
So I guess it's my turn, and what I was going to say was similar to what Cass just said. So I'm not going to say that, but I am going to say that I'm her cheerleader. You know. I want her to win. I think that she's smart. I think she can take on the world. I think she can defeat the world, you know, and it needs to be vice versa. One. Two, I do understand, and, you know, women, you got to realize that you cannot win every argument. You know, you're not right all the time. You can't fight every battle. Like, sometimes you do have to stand down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's You know, even if I'm right, sometimes I just gotta, okay. And you have to do that as well. Like, you can't fight him on everything. And you really can't, because eventually he's going to get tired of fighting. Mm-hmm. You know, eventually he's going to go and seek somewhere else where there's no fight, you know. So don't fight everything. And we've talked about that. We both, what I can say, we both stand down, and we are definitely really very powerful, and we go hard and that sort of thing. So it was different backing down, but I don't want to fight. So, you know, I can't fight every argument. You want to go to this restaurant, fine, and go to this restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Now, if I really feel strongly on it, then that's my time to step in. But we cannot win and fight we can't fight every fight, and we can't win every argument.
You know what? Let me I'm gonna give a part B to what he just said, a part B to that hack. If it's an argument and you guys happen to be on the phone, you know what works well for me? The little old mute button. So as he's saying what he says, I mute myself out and I say what I want to say.
That's it. No, that's it. That's good.
So I still get it out of me, but I don't necessarily have to get it out of me and pour it into his spirit. You know what I mean? I can get it out of me and just get it and put it out there, but I don't have to pour that into him.
Yeah. And writing is a good way to do that too.
Say it one more time, Renee.
Writing is a really good way to get your point out without it being out in the universe. And you can see it, and you get to go back and see your growth.
Don't I know?
See how you used to handle things. Because I know when we first got married, when I would get mad about something, we'd be in the car and I'm mad, I would fold my arms and I'd turn my body the other way and I wouldn't talk for the rest of the. And so Gil knew, oh, she's quiet, she's mad. And so our body language sometimes, and the thing that I was thinking about when you were saying is, we have to fight to lose. Because if you win in an argument, you really lose. Mm-hmm. So the goal is not to win. The goal is for the other person. And we always say we try to outserve each other. So we try to make sure that the other person feels that I hear you, I see you, and I get you. Even though I don't understand it, even though I don't agree with you, I hear what you say, and I'm going to work on that, or I'm going to think about that. And so I think that's an important part of the hack too, is to realize that you didn't marry yourself. You married somebody that's other than you, and understanding that, you know, you got to give the other person the freedom to be different.
Right. Definitely.
Wow.
What you got, mute button? Mute button over here. MB's the old mute.
That's okay.
That's okay. I tell you one thing, it keeps peace. The mute button keeps peace.
MB's. No, that's our nickname from now on. MB's. Yeah, MB.
How important is it to you guys to create memories? And what type of memories do you try to create together?
You know, the older you get, the more experiences become a priority over things. For us, we got an RV in December, and I realized that
you got an RV.
We have an RV. His name is Richie.
Listen to.
Okay.
They have an RV.
We do. We travel. That's our whole thing. We figure when we go to speak, they don't have to pay for us for hotel and air.
I want one.
We love it, but that's what we realize, that memories are the thing that matters to me most. Are the memories and the experiences, not the stuff. Because after so long, stuff doesn't matter. And so creating memories that are lasting and impactful is probably the most important thing to me.
And I would say, just like what we kind of talked about a little while back, you mentioned the pandemic. If that hasn't taught you anything, it should have taught you don't wait. If there's things that out there that you want to do, things that you want to accomplish, or memories you want to have, don't wait, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. And if you wait, you know, you're going to be regretting that decision. Hopefully not, but you have to take action. So when it comes to memories, if there's things that you want to try, things that you want to do, whether you can buy an RV or rent an RV, just go do it. You better do it. because you never know when it's your time, so that's why the memories are so important, because there's always going to be something else down the road. There's always going to be a reason not to do something, whether it's work, whether it's the kids, whether it's extended family members or the money, or it's always going to be something. And if you keep pushing it back, and we did it for a lot of years, we literally delayed this. This is something I had wanted to do since I was a child, and finally we just said, you know what, I'm gonna make it a priority. We got to make us a priority for a change, because when you give, not only see your kids, your family members, extended people, and other things, give. When is it your turn? And if you don't create those memories or take some initiative, next thing you know, God forbid, you die and you didn't get to do nothing that you wanted to do.
Right.
So, Gil, it's so interesting that you said. I'm sorry, I apologize for cutting you off. No, it's interesting that you said that, because my dad was ill a week ago, and we were going to go to Maryland, and so he wanted to talk to me with no one around. He wanted my mom away, and he wanted Jay not to be in earshot. And he said to me, listen, me and your mom, we've been married 63 years. I'm old.
Wow.
I'm old. He said, I'm going to go in the hospital. I have to get some things taken care of. Don't y'all come back here. You need to live your life.
Yeah.
Because when are you going to live your life when you're living for everybody else? And he said, one day you two are going to look back and be like, but we missed this memory. We missed that memory. We didn't do that. And he said, I don't want that regret on you. He said, I want you guys to go and do what you have to do. He said, I'm going to be okay. He said, here's the thing. How can you be upset about me being in the hospital and you believe in God? If I say I'm going to be okay, I believe in God, and I believe God's going to bring me out of this. So you're going to come to Maryland for what reason?
Right.
He was like, you can't believe in God and rush. And so when he said that, Jay kept saying, no, we going to Maryland. We're going to Maryland. So finally, I told him, I gave him the schematics of what my dad said. Yeah. And the reason why. Jay was like, well, we're wired different. I said, we're not wired different. I want to go back. Mm-hmm. But when my dad broke it down like that, he said, I'm going to be honest. He said, I feel like it's selfish of me to always be the reason why you guys can't. He's like, and he said, when I get to the pearly white gates, I don't want God to say, I held you guys back. Yeah. One of my sins was I held you guys back because I selfishly wanted you guys to me. Yourself. So that's part one of what I wanted to say. But part two is, I'm telling you, there's a place in South Carolina that rents RVs. We're going to rent an RV and drive to Vegas. I've been trying to do this since last summer.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a place in Virginia. We see that on 95.
That's Virginia. Mm-hmm. We renting it RV.
Yeah, it's a place in Virginia.
We renting and we driving.
We love it. And you discover things about yourself that you would never know. Like, I love the outside at dark. To look at the sky. I love the woods. I would have never known that, but that was his thing. I was like, well, I never know, but I could live in it full time. I love it. And he can't believe it. He was like, I love cooking in it. I love sitting in it. I love when we have our cuddle, our romantic evenings. I mean, it just takes you out of your normal environment, and it makes you focus on just the two of you. No cell phones, no work. We play Uno. I
bet you we beat you at Uno.
So
we gotta play.
Hold up. So this is we're gonna get off subject, right?
Okay.
This whole Uno thing is.
We're gonna get off subject, right?
Jay, you better tell her.
We talk about Uno. We don't play pile up, so you can't have 3 6s in your hand and put all 3 6s down at the same time. We can't, we don't play that. I think that's so juvenile, right? That's just me.
You lose a lot.
No,
we don't lose. We don't lose.
I'm just saying. Some people, everybody kind of got their own house rules.
Yeah.
So that was always a rule in my house at the radio station when we were playing. We're not doing
No pile up.
6 draw, 6 two
Draw
number
fours,
cards
yeah,
at the
draw
same
fours.
time. We got to play it out because that's just let's play it out. That's how we know if you're really good or not. We're gonna play it out, and you can't put a draw 4 on a draw 2. So if
see, now that's the only rule that me and him disagree with.
If I play a draw 2,
oh my God, Cena talking about she on in favor of pile
listen,
up. That's why we ain't playing with her.
If I no listen,
that's why we not playing with Cena.
If I play a draw 2, I play a draw 2.
Pick them up.
She gotta either pick up or play a draw 2, right? And then then Renee, if you got a draw 2, then you play it. Gil, if you don't have one, you got 6 cards.
Oh well,
right?
Jingle bell.
And that's the same thing with a draw 4, but you can't draw. I put a draw 2, and then she put down a draw 4. No, it's got to be one. It's got to be one of the other.
Man, that whole Uno thing is a real thing.
It's got to be one of the other.
So you guys are Uno traditionally,
right? And because I want to play it out. I want to really play it out. Because I'm really paying attention. I'm seeing what you got to pick up.
He really is.
Like
it's
I'm seeing.
I don't know the cards except Uno.
Huh?
I don't know how to play the cards except Uno.
Right. No, listen. I'm telling you, if she put something down and I see you don't have any more blues.
You got a bullet.
No, it's in my head. Okay, she don't have no more blues. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep this blue so she can keep hitting this deck. You know what I mean? Like it is thought out.
You really just went down that whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's thought out. Like I'm not really playing. I'm slamming cards and everything. Like I'm playing spades. I'm like I'm.
And don't know how to play spades.
I don't.
Me either.
I don't. But I know how to play blackjack. I know how to play baccarat, and I know how to shoot crack.
Oh my God!
And I do that.
Okay.
And I know how to sports bet. I'm sorry. I know I'm a delinquent. I'm sorry.
Okay. So this is my favorite time. This is the time we have Tim. Can you believe we've been on here for 50 minutes?
It flies by when you
It does.
Okay, I know, right? So this is when we get a chance to.
Somebody said revoke my black card. I know how to play, but I'm not that good. I don't play enough. I just haven't. It's not. If somebody playing spades, I'd rather go to casino.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you, when you went to a HBCU, that's what you learned, how to play spades. I mean, I'm sorry.
Wasn't it a part of your curriculum?
Yeah, it really was a part of my curriculum. And the person who revoked his black card, it was a part of me and her curriculum.
I was a DJ, so while y'all play spades, I'm DJ.
So this is the part where we get an opportunity to play games, and it's my favorite part. It's really my favorite part. So how this will work is I have 2 questions, and Jay has a question.
I might not even have a question because her questions be so in depth. Yeah.
Anyway, and so I'm gonna ask straightforward questions, so you just ask, so they don't have to answer until they can't answer any longer. Okay. All right. Will that help you out a little?
No.
Okay. So let's see.
Do we alternate, or we just whoever wants to answer?
Well, I was getting ready to ask Jay. Do we start with the beautiful Renee?
Well, women first.
Okay.
Ladies first.
So I'm gonna ask the question. Both of you guys have to answer. Renee, you answer first. Okay. And what I will do is we will answer it so that you understand how we, the response. But my first question is, what is something small that we can do daily for each other to make our lives better? Jay?
Oh, that's a trick question. You caught me off guard.
How is that a trick question?
I don't know. It's just I wasn't expecting that. And I'm usually ready for our questions. And what is something that I can do daily? When I am running and taking care of things, check in.
That's my answer. That's the same answer.
I know that. I know I can do a better job.
That's actually my answer. Renee and Gil, What are some things that you guys can do for each other that on a daily basis that can make your life better?
Gil's love language is quality time. So
Ooh, I think me and Gil, we related.
So something that I can do daily is to turn everything off and sit in his face.
And for me, I can say this right here, touch. Just a back rub or just a physical acknowledgement.
Actually, I like when he stand behind me, kiss me on my neck. That's what I really like.
Okay. A physical acknowledgement of her presence.
Right, right. You know, it's funny because, you know, you said something about love language, and I am so, like, I guess a caveman in that. I'm like, love language, like, I'm not, I know they got a test of the love language and all that. Yeah. Like, and we took it, but I was like, we don't need to take this. We know each other. Like, well, what are we doing? Like, we don't need to do this. And it's just funny to, you know, to hear you guys.
You don't know.
No, we always say that. We do. We say that you don't know what you don't know. But I feel like I know the young lady, so I'll be anti all of that. Like, I'm anti the love language test. I'm anti the therapist. I'm anti the therapist.
Oh Lord.
Right?
No, we got to rewind the clock. We got to have another hour now.
No. So
when y'all want to come back,
you know what? Listen. I'm not. This is therapy. This is therapy for me. This is therapy, right? This is therapy.
I didn't hear.
You said that's a problem.
That's our problem as people of color. That mindset is the reason why we have a hard time getting couples to a place of wholeness, because they feel like what goes on in my house is my business. I don't want nobody to know what's going on. Keep everything quiet. I don't want no therapist. Only crazy people see therapists. I think the crazy people don't see therapists. I think
you gotta say that, Renee.
That's what's wrong with us. We have this sense of privacy and we think we're keeping secrets, but they're really keeping us. And there's so much about relationships that we just don't know. So we're just doing what we see everybody else doing, and we're doing what we think we should do, but we don't really know that just learning something is different is what's your communication style. I mean, you need to know that, because you need to know if I am a director and you are a feeler, the way you talk to me can make me feel some kind of way. And so learning those kind of things helps you to have the tools so that you can navigate your relationship where it can flourish and you don't just exist and you don't just survive, but you thrive.
And I'll say 2 words, Jay. These 2 words are the Achilles heel to men. I'm good.
All right.
Don't do it. Don't do it, because when we think that, and this is what, and I'm only saying that not to you, I'm saying it to myself, because that was my Achilles heel, where it kind of goes back to what you said at the very beginning, where I try to carry on the weight of everything that's going on, the livelihood for my family and all those things, where I had to get out of that I'm good, or I'm okay, or I got it, you know.
Well, mine is I'll figure it out. So that is mine.
That's the millennials anthem.
I say I'll figure it out. That's kind of my thing.
And he's not a millennial, so
No. So I'm just used to trying to, handling it. 1, 2. I think that even what I said is maybe can be taken out of context. So I do want to explain it, because I know there's people watching as well. I guess my form of therapy is I listen to a lot of positive audio and podcasts and things of that nature on a regular basis, right? To kind of change my mindset, change my mental, keep me sharp. This platform keeps me sharp. Me working out keeps me sharp. That's how I'm able to maneuver. Just really talking like we're doing right now and learning from.
But that's therapy.
No, so but no. Listen, no. So
you just describe therapy.
No, but I'm just saying, we're sitting here talking. We're giving each other food, right? They're giving us food. We're giving them food. We're giving all parties involved food. I think my biggest issue was to sit in front of one specific person and give all of that, and you just tell me what you think. What about you, family?
I think you had a wrong attitude.
What about you? I don't know who is theraping, who's giving the therapist the therapy. So this helps a lot for me. This platform helps a lot. You can tell I've came a long way, right?
I still think that you have the wrong attitude for that, because therapy is not just about us, right? Mm-hmm. Like for real. After we had to do the COVID test today,
I wanted to talk about that, but we didn't get a chance.
I'm glad we didn't, because I'm tired of talking about COVID. But after we had to do the COVID test today, I literally had to call my therapist because of what I said at the beginning of the podcast. I feel like I'm empty.
Okay. Right.
And so I think it's the wrong attitude to think that it's just about us. Like you have to be able to work on yourself individually. And I don't care how much positive stuff that I listen to in the morning, which I listen to a lot of the stuff that you listen to. I don't care how much I work out. I don't care how much I cook. I have to get it out of me.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so the purpose in therapy is like this, So Renee and Gil, what you don't know is I'm a cancer survivor, right? So if I think of it like that, then if you have a polyp inside of you, right? And you never release it and send it out of you, it grows and grows and grows, and it's cancerous.
Mm-hmm.
So therapy is just that. You have to push it out of you. You have to. And it doesn't mean that whoever you're talking to is judging you. It means that they're helping you get through.
Yeah. And I love, because one of the things I realized, and we realized this early, was that, and I say it all the time, whatever you don't talk out, you're going to act out. I've always been very aware that I got to talk it out. So that's why I write so much, because I'm like, I would get in trouble because I thought that I could say everything I thought to everybody, even to Gil. Some of the things I think, and I think sometimes women don't realize, some of the things we say to our men, they can't handle it. So we have to learn, how do we get it out in a way where it's not going to be, where I'm not going to have to say I'm sorry. So if you don't get it out by writing it down or having someone who can talk to you, because the therapist's job is not to solve the problem. The therapist's job is to help you work through the solution so you can change your relationship with that thing, and to change your habits and your lifestyle. Because even though you listening to something new, but you're not getting what's in there out. So it's almost like it's diluted. The information you're getting is good is going to be diluted by your mindset or your philosophy. So you got to get the old stuff out in order for the new stuff to really grow. And so I think that's what we feel like. We get new information in, but we're not getting the old information out. So we end up just being polluted.
Absolutely. I'm not going to ask my second question.
That was enough.
Mm-hmm. I think this.
Sometimes we do have those drop the mic moments. Like when you guys just talked and dropped the mic, like on Coming to America, sexual chocolate. That was right. Yeah.
That was good.
Right, that was good. That good more than good and terrible. Yeah. I think that is one of those moments, and I love this because we can be really transparent.
Oh, absolutely.
We need it. We all need it. And I think what's wrong with us is we think that just because we see someone's profile and they have nice pictures, you don't know their story. You don't know what they have to do. You don't know the deep conversations that they have with each other, because it's more important to me that what you see in one platform is who I am in every facet of my life. So right. It's more important to me that we have depth and that we have a genuine relationship with each other, and it's work. And most people don't know what that work is. And so that's the whole purpose of the course, is for people to understand how to work in and on their relationships with new tools, new communication, new conflict resolution, and also a new community of other people who are like them.
Yeah, because the whole goal is to bring value. If you're not bringing value in other people and things that you do, then you're really not benefiting anybody. So if you're not bringing value to other people's lives, just stop.
You want me to hold the mic up to you?
so she's saying that because that is how I live. That is the my rules of how I move.
Yeah.
And it took me some time to get to that, you know. And it's funny, just like the cliche, you live and you learn. It's funny, my father said that to me the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said it, it just hit different because I'm like, as long as I've heard this cliche, it really is the truth, right? It really is the truth. And me and Cassandra talk about all the time with how our circle changed and the conversations that we had have changed. And they have changed because if you are not adding any value, then what is the purpose? I've done enough. I've been around enough people. We've been around and we had enough people, and not to say anything bad about anybody else. If there's no value, then I gotta back off, and I gotta kind of, not that I have anything against you. If there's no value, and I expect you to do the same thing, concerning me. If I'm not adding any value to it, then I don't expect you to talk to me. I get it. I get it. So all the relationships, everybody, the short, small circle, really small circle, has to have some value, because I used to keep a bunch of people around me, and I don't think, maybe they didn't know any better either, but they did not keep me sharp. And if you were the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yes, you need a new room.
Right, you're definitely in the wrong room. So, we really thank you for taking time. It's Friday, and you spending your Friday with us, and we really appreciate that.
We would love to have you guys back.
Right.
And we'll have you guys on our podcast too.
Yes, we are actually embarking in a lot. God has blessed us with a lot, and so next week we are actually off all week.
Wonderful.
As far as the podcast is, but we're still working.
Yeah. Because she don't want to talk about that COVID test, but this was the first time we actually had to really, and it was a different feeling with that thing up your nose. It was a different feeling.
The crazy part about it is my daughter was here when we had to do it, and my daughter said, "Ma, when he took that test and he started sneezing, I was like, mommy is not doing this today. I don't know how." And she said immediately in her mind, she started thinking, me and Mr. J gonna have to try to figure out how we getting her to do it. But I did it. I did it like a champ. I was good. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
It's no joke. You do what you got to do for the people you love. We got vaccinated. That was not something we planned on doing, but we realized we have people in our life who are older. We want to spend time with them. And we also realized in order to be close to people again, which is what we love, that was just a decision we had. We took one for the team. We're doing our part.
Well, we came up with something that we realized a couple of weeks ago, that the vaccine and being vaccinated is like, when you went to the bar and you went to the barber shop and you went to the hairdresser, it's like two things that you really didn't talk about. You didn't talk about religion and politics, right? Now you got to add a third thing to it, is the vaccination, because it's, everybody's on a couple of different sides. And what we talked about is, hey, we don't have, your opinion is your opinion, and you do what you need to do. Our opinion is our opinion, and as long as you're safe and you're healthy,
we still gonna wear masks.
We good now. What?
I didn't say anything. Oh, we're talking about masks. I said I'm still gonna wear.
Yeah, she said we still gonna wear masks, and I went like that.
Right? Yeah, I have a mask. I have a mask, and I do wear my mask around a bunch of people. But our opinion on the vaccination is our opinion, and we, like she said, we have talked about it a lot.
And you got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's usually a topic. But I need you to do me a favor.
Wait, before you tell them to do the favor, right? Okay. Because this is all a part of it, right?
Okay.
I just need you to notice something that I like. If you see that I've been going like this for a minute, so, and I took my glasses off, so I couldn't really see.
Right.
Did you see their shirts?
No, yes, I did.
So
I did.
originally,
Live.
let me just tell you, Renee, originally I was sitting there thinking, oh, when we get off the podcast, I need to ask Renee where she got that shirt from. So then as I leaned forward and I read it, and then I looked over, I was like, I'm jealous. I love it. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right, no, I did notice it. And actually the blue with the white writing is easier to see.
I like
it than Gil's shirt because it's the gray and almost white on white. So
right.
It's a little the blue and white pops a little bit on camera.
Oh yeah.
A lot more on camera. So yeah, I did. I got it.
Yeah,
this is our thing that we always tell people. One thing you can do is lie to me more, love, inspire, and encourage me. That's something that God gave Gil. He tells it better than I do.
Yeah, but I mean that's the gist of it. Like you said, the life hack. That's something that everybody can apply for their life hack to your spouse. Lie to them more. Lie to them every single day, which is love unconditionally, inspire them to be the best that they can be, and encourage them.
Got it. Because it took me a second. When you said lie to him, I was like, where you going?
Love, inspire, and encourage.
I got it. When you explained it, I got it.
That's it. So you can remember it. Love, inspire, and encourage. Lie to them every day.
Yeah, I got it. Before you go, I do need you to do me a favor, and I need you to shameless plug everything that you guys have going on. What is going on, how they can follow you, how they can be a part of all the things that you have going on. This is your opportunity to beat on your chest and brag about yourself. You have the floor. I'll
let her do it because she's the social media person. I'm just the support staff. I'm like Dr. Cass. I'm just in the background, keeping things going. So
she is a social media guru. I call her like, hey, or we in front of each other. Hey, what
we got going on?
When should I post this?
Yep. Right. Go ahead, babe.
I want to thank God for my husband because I have a very A-type personality, and this book, Rich Relationships, Our Marital Code of Oneness, has been like having 12 children, and it has taken my time, my attention, my focus, our extra resources. And so from the book, we now have the workbook, which is the Oneness Code workbook. And from that workbook, we've created a course because we realize the same thing that you talked about, Jay, is the thing that we have come up against. So many people need help, but they have an issue with therapy. They have an issue with talking face to face. They have an issue with people knowing what's going on. So we created this course where people can go and get help as couples, and we're there with them live, but no one's on the screen but us. And so when you go in and chat, no one knows what we won't respond to what you put in the chat until later on with you individually. And so it's a way to help people it allows us to help a lot of people and still just be two people and still have a life. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be able to offer something that's going to be
outlive us.
So when we're long and we're gone, this course is going to still be here. And so that's our whole thing, is creating content that's going to last. Like with your podcast, it's going to live forever. And so I think that we need to be doing more of creating things that's going to outlive us, that's going to make a difference. And so it's Rich Relationships Refuge. Our website is richrelationshipsus.com. We have all the social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Clubhouse. And we just want to be available to make sure that the people who look like us and people who don't look like us have a safe place to really grow and be transformed. Because most people you're going to change whether you want to or not, but you may not grow, you may not be transformed. So that's really our heart.
Got it.
See, I told you she got it.
Right. And it's funny because I'm going to ask you this, Renee, and I asked our guests on Wednesday the same thing. Clubhouse, what do you think?
I love Clubhouse.
I'm listening. I'm all ears.
It is the most transparent environment I have ever seen in all the years of us working with couples. People are so transparent on Clubhouse. And for me, I go to provide wisdom, but I also go to pray, because you need to know, you need to have your heart on the pulse of what's going on with these are the people we are supposed to be serving. And so to me, I love Clubhouse because you get to go there and you get to listen, you get to pray, you get to talk, you get to add value at no cost to them. So we want to have lots of ways to connect with people. We use TikTok and Instagram, all those platforms, because we want to make sure we're available to every single group of people who may need to just find out what we're doing. And so I love it. I absolutely love it.
So maybe I need to hang out in your room.
I told him. I told him that we had a different experience. I have had the experience that you've had, Renee, on Clubhouse. He has not had that experience. I'm like, how not? Like, what?
Everybody's a guru on Clubhouse. Everybody is the man. Everybody is the woman. Everybody is the most successful and had all the wins, never had a loss, which there's no growth if you didn't have a loss, you know. And maybe because I'm in rooms that.
Well, which rooms are you going to? I specifically go into rooms that are geared towards relationships.
Yeah, so maybe I need to be in a different room because I don't even go on it. I post on Instagram and post on Facebook and then keep it pushing.
I personally don't actually I post, I don't swipe, but on Instagram and Clubhouse, I actually physically go there and make myself available to listen and to talk and to engage. I feel like it's a very unique, organic environment where people are really trying to get some answers and they really want some input. So I love it.
Got it. All right. Yeah.
But I only do it once a week because it is very consuming.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I need to hang out in y'all rooms because what I see pop up, when I first got it and she got it and somebody had to let me in and I got in and I was like, okay.
I'll let you in.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And I go in this room and everybody is,
but there's rules now.
King Jaffe Jova, ruler of Zamunda. I do a lot of Coming to America quotes. And I'm sorry, but everybody's King Jaffe Jova, right?
And nobody is Jay.
No, nobody is Simi. Nobody is none of those. Nobody is that. Everybody is the king. And okay, kings, if this is the case, then why aren't you? You shouldn't be somewhere else. Like if you're the king, I got a bad vibe. I didn't,
you approached it.
Yeah,
it's the mindset. A part of it is I realize I'm going there to give.
Right.
I'm not going there to take, and so I just go there and I listen. And if God puts something on my heart to say something, I do. And if He doesn't, I don't. But I mean, I always have something to say.
Okay. Listen, maybe the both of you will change my perspective on Clubhouse, and not only that, I feel like we have to somebody, I don't know if it's me, if it's you guys, if it's Cassandra, if it's Cass, but we keep really making everybody else a bunch of money. We push culture forward. Clubhouse is popular and where it is because of us. So is Facebook. So is Instagram. All of these platforms, we use these platforms. We make these folks a bunch of money, and then that's it. So why can't we do the same thing? Why can't we do that same thing for Renee, for the platform that she made up? So I'm looking for that as well.
And I love your point, and that's one of the reasons why we have a website, because I think it's important for every entrepreneur, every person with a podcast, every person with social media. What are you driving them to? What do you have that you created that you can have a way to generate income for your family? So I don't use social media just to let people know I got what I'm eating and what I'm wearing.
Yeah, we don't do that.
It's a way to let people know who we are, what we're doing, that we're available. And we have a home that we're building for them. We have the books, we have the podcast, we have the workshops, we have the seminars, we do Zoom, we do every way. So I think some people don't realize social media is not just for you to get on here and tell people. It's also for you to have something you've created that you can give to them. Because if you don't have something you're driving them to that you created, then it really is just for popularity. Right. And so to your point, yes, every podcaster should have a website. Every podcaster should have a course. Every podcaster should have a book. Every podcaster should be able to do speaking engagements. So it should lead you to something. It should not just be the only thing that you do.
Got it. So I'm glad that you guys had an opportunity to spend some time with us.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a blessing. We've gotten a lot of food from this. I have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great.
Yeah, and somebody else.
Just get that RV, we meet up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be driving, so you know, okay. I'm the driver. I'm the driver. Like, yeah, I'm the driver. I don't even want her to drive. You know, like she had to drive the other week, and I got it. Like you know, I was glad when she was like, "I'm getting tired." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead to the rest stop. I got it." You know, I just feel good when I got it. You know what I mean? Go ahead and relax.
That's called control. You need
therapy. She was asleep in the fetal position, y'all. She was in a fetal position. No, thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we need you guys to hold on because actually when we sign off, we still want to talk to you guys.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much for spending your, starting the weekend off with us on the Love and Business Unlocked podcast. And I always say, please, maintain and protect your circle because you pick up the habits of people around you. So make sure your circle is positive, it's sharp, and, it's some value in your circle. So with that being said, please enjoy your weekend. Please make sure you look at all of our social media. We have an event coming up next Saturday with a major announcement. So that's really important. So please stay tuned to everything we have going on. With that being said, enjoy the weekend. We love y'all.